Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday. I thought you guys could come with me on a day of Saturday call as a CRNA. Just gonna take a little break, chug some water. So I am still here on call. We have done 3 cases thus far. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and we started with a neck fusion, did a bronch with lavage, and then just did a abdominal exploration with a mass removal. So those were kind of bigger cases, and then we just have a lap appy, and that is all that's on the schedule for now. Things can always change. So now I'm just chugging some water, using the restroom. Lap appy takes about 45 minutes or so, and then I'm hoping that is it. But it's definitely been a busy day. I got here at about 7:45 this morning, so not a bad Saturday. I am out of here for now. It's definitely been a busy day, but enjoyable nonetheless. All right, guys, I am walking out now. We finished that appy in record time, so that was great. I am hoping that I will not be called back in, but I am prepared to be. How our call works is we are on call for 24 hours, so I will be on call for the rest of the night until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So fingers crossed, but if I get called, I'll let you guys know. Hi, guys. It is the next day. I was fortunate enough to not get called back in at all, which is always so nice. I kind of myself prefer, if I'm going to be on call, to go in first thing in the morning, do a few cases, ideally till like about 1 p.m., go home, not get called back. For me, that is the chef's kiss of call. This one went just a little bit longer than I would have liked, but it happens sometimes, and they all were pretty interesting cases. Just to recap, so the first one was more of a scheduled case. Sometimes on Saturday you won't always get only emergencies. Sometimes doctors will put things on the case that they just feel cannot wait until the following Monday. So that's kind of what happened there. So we knew about that 8:30 case the night before. So kind of woke up like it was any normal work day, got there, and then the day just kind of progresses from there. So oftentimes you'll go in for that one scheduled case, and then things will just kind of get added on throughout the day, which is kind of what happened. After the neck fusion, that took about a couple hours. We were notified about a bronch and lavage that needed to be done on just a younger kid that had been sick for a while with a lot of chest congestion. So we had to just go in and kind of wash out his lungs just in hopes that he would recover a little bit better because he'd been sick for some time. So those can kind of be tougher cases, and spasms are pretty high risk waking up on these cases just because they're already have that reactive airway, one from being sick and now from the trauma that we've just put in by putting a scope down through the lungs and washing them out. He acted like a true bronch. He was a little bit difficult of a wake up just to get him in a good place, oxygenating wise. But we got him there, got him to recovery, and then he went up to the floor. Our third case was actually pretty interesting. It was an abdominal exploration, a lady that had a very large mass in her belly that needed to come out. It was causing a lot of vaginal bleeding, so her blood counts were already low from all the bleeding from it. We kind of knew going in there was a high chance that she was going to need blood. So for those cases, they just require a little bit more setup. Blood tubing, spiked and ready to go on a fluid warmer. Make sure the blood bank has a couple units on standby if we were going to need those. We're going to go ahead and put an ART line in on her just because her blood levels were already low, and we were worried that with induction, with our anesthesia drugs and with the gas, that we were going to have some blood pressure issues as well. And due to the size of that mass, we knew that her intra-abdominal pressures were already super high. And once we got her intubated, it showed we were getting very poor tidal volumes just because of all that space being taken up by that mass. Lungs were not given enough room to expand. So Tidal volumes were a little bit lower. She also had a pretty high BMI of 75, so that was working against our lung volumes as well. In those cases, it's best to just always prepare for the worst case scenarios. We were anticipating that once that mass was removed, we were then going to see maybe a dramatic drop in her blood pressure just because that mass was in there putting a lot of pressure on the vasculature. And now whenever that was taken out, everything could relax and vasodilate. And we thought that then we would have hypotension issues, but luckily we really didn't. But we were prepared for the worst. We had a neo drip ready to go if we were going to need to give her that. We did end up giving 1 unit of blood just because her starting hemoglobin was already 7. She did very, very well. The hospitalist and anesthesia team decided it was in her best interest to remain intubated, transported to the ICU, and just her body let rest overnight, and then they would pull the tube the next day. So we did what's called a bag and drag in that situation. In those cases, it's always best to have a syringe of paralytic and a syringe of propofol, just because we're taking their sedation away for the transport part. So if they became a little restless, you have something in that moment to give them until they are in the ICU and until they are given their whatever sedation they are ordered to get there. And then after that third case, we were told there was going to be a appendectomy at the end of that. And we had a great general surgeon that was on, can do a lap appy in half an hour, and that held true. She had that out lickety split. So that was really it. Very good Saturday. The way our call works is we take call from home. We don't have to stay in house. Our anesthesiologist stays in house for any immediate or emergent needs. They're really the only physician that stays in house at our hospital. So they go to all the codes, any emergency intubations, things like that, they stay in house for. They also do all the OB epidurals at our site. So we do not get called in for those, which is really nice. We do called in for urgent or emergency sections. So that's something that we are often called for. But we were not that night. It was overall a very pleasant Saturday. If you guys liked videos like this, I'm happy to do day in the life call edition, just so it gives you guys a glimpse into what call can look like for you in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, give me a comment down below. I would love to hear the type of videos that you would benefit from. I was a student myself not too long ago. I remember just looking for all kinds of content like this just to get me more and more comfortable for what I could expect actually on the job one day by myself. Stay tuned for some more upcoming anesthesia videos. Bye.